What's up and welcome back to the channel. The name is Ninja Knight. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads. Check out the links posted in the description down below and consider joining the channel today. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel. So moving quickly on from the last video that I did, more images got released and sent to me for the McFarlane Toys Snyder Cut figures. And I have to say I'm getting mixed feelings on this wave particularly. The sculpt here for Batman looks good. Head looks a little bit small in my opinion. Now, is this going to be a version of Batman that's going to come with an alternate head and the Batarang, so it's going to come with a couple of accessories? I certainly hope so. Like I said in the previous video, I'm not a huge fan of the plastic cape. I would have preferred a fabric cape. I personally think with these McFarlane figures, whilst they're good and the money that you can spend on these is probably going to become in the hundreds maybe for these waves, I think maybe money would have been better spent off now waiting for certain Mafex releases. I have the Mafex releases of all of the Justice League from the fourth version of the Justice League that we got. Now I just need a version of Steppenwolf, Darkseid and Black Suit Superman now from that, so I might end up waiting for those figures rather than purchasing into these ones again. I'm mixed feelings on this, to be honest. So Batman looks decent there. I like the look. It's more towards the end of the movie. Here's Superman. Now I personally think that this Superman sculpt is really good. I like the way that they have, it seems to have double elbows, and I think the suit overall looks really nice. It looks really clean, and I think that the sculpt for this is very strong. Again, what I'll say is I would prefer a fabric cape here as opposed to the plastic cape. Where it loses points for me though is in the head sculpt. I think the head sculpt is a little bit weak and I would have expected a lot more. The neck looks very long. I think that's one issue that I have. I think the neck looks very long and the head looks very small. And that's going to be more apparent than on the black suit version of Superman, where I think that absolutely looks terrible. This is something that I think McFarlane really needs to get a handle on, is the head sculpt and the neck sculpt. We've seen it with the Mortal Kombat figures where some of them were way off. Some of them he was just making Scorpion, for example, with just the front of his face, no full head within a hood. And I think that really hurts the figures then. It seems like he's trying to cut corners at certain times. Now, I already predicted that this would be a repaint fairly easily for McFarlane Toys to just have a blue and red suit and then just make it into the black and silver suit as we're seeing here in front of us. I think it looks good. I do think it looks decent enough. If it has art in the hands, that'd be absolutely fantastic because we know that Superman is going to engage within this movie. Again, like I'm saying, fabric capes would be way more applicable, I think, to these figures and would actually bring them up a notch in my opinion. Where I'm looking at it though, for example, is the head sculpt. I think the head sculpt is very weak. It's very, very soft. And this is surprising to me coming from McFarlane Toys. I think this is a point in time, particularly now, that he really needs to get with it and he needs to do the face print technology because that brings figures to another level. Look, for example, what Mafex do, or Mafex if you want to call them that. They do a great job with this. Last figure that's being shown here is Steppenwolf, and whether this is a different version of Steppenwolf, because there could be a 2-pack that's coming with this, it's possible, because the other version of it looked like that he had less bits sticking out, and certainly maybe then it looks like then the coloration of that looked different altogether, and he was holding his weapon, I think, within his right hand rather than his left hand. So this might be a different version of Steppenwolf. Looks more like it's earlier in the movie, particularly because he's very clean, and because then I think with the way he's holding the axe, it certainly looks like they want to differentiate it from the previous version of what they showed with Steppenwolf. This looks interesting. I think that this looks decent. I actually think that this is where McFarlane is at his best, when he's creating out there otherworldly, alien, monstrous creatures. I think he's much more in his element when he's doing things like that rather than a human head sculpt. I think that that's where he really lets himself down. But I have to say, I think of the wave that we're being shown, I think Darkseid looks great. I think Steppenwolf looks great. And I think that's kind of where I'm at with that. I think that's as good as it's going to get. So I think for a lot of people out there, maybe what they might end up doing is they might buy Steppenwolf and they might buy Darkseid, and then that's great. They can put that down with their Mafex figures, and then that's finished down until Mafex decide to do then a version of Superman in the black suit. Will Mafex do a version of Steppenwolf and Darkseid? That's remained to be seen. But I think that if McFarlane are doing these and they're at $39.99, a lot of people would pick these up. I don't foresee a lot of people picking up the league the way the league look. I think that that's very weak. This is a moment in time where McFarlane needs to get this under control, and he needs to start pumping out figures that look way more like the actors and way more like the representation of the material that he's trying to go from, because I think that this at the moment, it's certainly putting fans off. Fans like me that like that, I think I'm disappointed with this personally. You will have a lot of people out there that will buy it, absolutely, that's up to you, and I wouldn't say that if anyone supports this you're wrong in doing it. I do think these are a significant improvement over the Mattel figures that we got not too long ago. So I do think that while strides are made going forward, there's still a couple of things that I think is holding this line back from being something that could be absolutely spectacular. And I would like to see him do that. I would like to see him constantly improve and get to a point in time where you're saying, yes, that's a brilliant version, and that's only $20 or $30. If it's going to be, for example, if they put up the prices, that's okay. Because if you're getting something that he's saying is going to be very akin to what you could get from a site from far away, for example, the likes of Mafex or Figuarts or anything like that, then that's fair enough. If you're paying the price for that, that's great. But what I think fans, and I think they're right to say as well, is if you're getting subpar figures, I think people are right to criticise it and expect for better, because again, at the end of the day, it's their money, and this is a company that I think listens to fans. I certainly hope that they listen to fans more so and actually work on this stuff going forward. I just have to say I'm a little bit disappointed after hype that I've seen surrounding this. Anyway, I'm going to leave the video there. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads. Check out the links posted in the description down below.